So would you like to see some work?
Yeah, that'd be great.
All right, cool. So I figured I'd show some drawings first. I use drawing sort of as like a lot of artists, I guess, as preliminary or as like supplemental to the work. I've never actually shown a drawing before in a gallery space, but I always try to just work through ideas really quickly with like pencil on paper before I go to start building things. Plants,
That's
landscape,
a lot of fun.
like have always been a theme in the work. So I often make drawings of plants or like vessels for plants.
Yeah.
Also doing a lot of like form finding and like a little bit of texture work, like a little bit of patterning, and messing around too with like line on paper, like thin lines and thick lines, compositional things.
Yeah, I'm definitely able to see a theme in your drawings.
Yeah, for sure. And this was kind of, again, this was like I bought a big bunk of this paper. So I've just been kind of cycling through these drawings over the past year. And I'm always just kind of interested in how this stuff like informs sculptures, which we'll look at some of the pots in a minute.
Yeah, and I know you had talked a little bit earlier about your process, and so how do these drawings sort of play into that?
Using drawing as like a form finding tool, basically, and always interested in how that may relate in some way to like the third dimension. So in our market, this past year we decided to make a bunch of like retail pedestals, which I thought was kind of a fun use of ceramics. I've never seen that done before. They're kind of like pots in ways. You can see how they would relate to some of those drawings.
Yeah.
But ultimately, we ended up using them as a sort of a pedestal for retail objects. I could totally see how this could become a really fun little composition. You know, this could become really cool. I figured I'd also show some of these vases. I made these last fall, I believe. Kind of fun, like big vases. Again, like having this relationship to plants and maybe landscape. We do a lot of like foraged bouquets and flowers around the farm, so I thought this would be kind of a fun.
Yeah, really nice
addition and relationship that we could sell in the market, and something kind of interesting sculpturally too. A few different forms. I also love making these, like, I call them wall shelves. They're basically these little wall pieces that then you can take like candles or other objects and create your a little composition up here. Also kind of a ritual space, lighting a candle, or this moment of routine, like where you're maybe settling down for the night, being able to go to this thing and like have an experience, which I think is kind of fun. And so again, like I mentioned, I work in series, so just like those drawings, always trying to like find which forms kind of like work best. Just different iterations of those. Those are kind of like faces where the eyeballs actually become the nail holes to hold the thing up.
Yeah, that's great. I love that.
When I first got into ceramics, I took a bunch of figure classes, and one of my professors is a really prolific figurative artist. So I was like really into that, but quickly like took more an abstract route. So doing things like that's kind of foreign to me because it has like this era of representation. So just something I kind of like, it was kind of a fun, playful thing I was doing. And back here you can see some kind of big planters that I made. Just made these a few weeks ago. Again, trying to make some like plant vessels. I really love the relationship between making ceramics and working on a farm, and how the pots can like be little like farms in themselves, or vessels for the plant material that we grow here at the farms. So my studio is just kind of a table in the middle of it all. I have like a slop sink. There's my wheel that I'll throw with. There's kiln furniture and just like tons of stuff. It's kind of messy, but you can see some racking with some tools and things that I use. We also have a kiln over underneath the stairwell that I use to fire everything, and I basically just wheel it out from under the stairs, turn it on, and then when I'm done with it, I can kind of tuck it back away. So everything is, as you can kind of see, is like super modular. With a big equipment barn like this, everything's always moving and shifting and really nimble. So the studio is also that.
So you have to share your space.
Absolutely, right.
All right. Well, thank you.
Absolutely.